Welcome back to our Dream in the Woods. I'm back at it again out here at the barn house, Barndominium. Gonna work on shoring it up, putting some more supports up, and then start working on the floor joists. And the main reason we're doing the floor joists right now is just to shore the structure up and give it stability. So as it's out here in the sun and it dries, it's going to twist and crack a little bit, but we just want to minimize as much of that as we can. So that's the priority at the moment. But first things first. So I just put this tree up, and from what I can tell, one of the commenters said it's a Norwegian origin, and it's just gonna be there to honor the structure, the trees that were given to make it, provide some good luck, and just a little bit of tradition. So one of the commenters, I think Z-Bart was the guy that told me about it. I'd seen it several different times. I didn't really know the meaning of it. I know the Shelter Institute, they always do it, and other timber structures have a tree or a sprig, an evergreen, on their last bent. So I'm going to do it on this one too. So looks kind of cool. So back to work. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I just went to my bone pile and just pulled out random stuff, and I plan on putting 3 braces on top of the rafters, kind of one in the center and one to each side, just to shear that up. They just didn't seem like they were supported, so I'm going to put some bracing up, and hopefully that'll help it dry in place. So cut those down to just over 10 feet and 6 feet, and start putting them up. Well, I got the first 6 pieces up. Seems like it's going okay. Kind of a pros and cons of how many pieces you put in this basket with you versus how crowded it is and how much room you have to work. But save some time if you can get more in the basket, so you don't have to go up and down as often. So anyway, put the next 6 pieces in, and about have this side done. got all the bracing up. I think it helped. The peak, I was doing measurements up there and it was off up to about 1/2 inch. So, but I wasn't able to move it either. So I don't know if I would have been up there and got those braces in with some help, whether that would have made a difference. It probably would have. But at least I think the bracing we have up there now is going to prevent it from getting any worse than that. So next thing is starting to work on floor joists. This is some 1.5 by 8 that we milled here, and then these pieces to the left are full 2-inch by 8, and so I'll use those on the outside with those big screws, and then use rafter hangers to hang those. I'm hoping that's enough for 2 pieces between 2 bents. So these are the first 2 bents on the north side. That's where I'm going to put these floor joists in. Above it is just bedroom, and then below it is garage. So there's not a lot of consideration for weight or height in there. So I'm going to use the rough cut stuff that we milled for in there. We're going to have to sheetrock that because there's living space above it, but it doesn't have to be perfect in the garage area. So anyway, that's where I'm going to start. I did get a couple of new tools for that. I got this little grip right nailer. I've never had one of those before, but that seems like that's going to be super handy. And then a metal fastener, 1.5 inch. And what I liked about that is the tip is exposed. You can just put it right in the hole. So that was a little bit of a learning curve to buy that tool. I shopped around a little bit for that, and I think it'll serve my purpose fine. And then I just plan on putting that air compressor up in the bucket with me and see how it goes. But before I do that, any of that stuff, I'm gonna go take a siesta. It's about 1 o'clock. It's about 90 degrees out here, and we should see shade by 4 is usually when things start getting shaded. So I'm going to take a little break and then come out and work till 8 or 8:30. I think that's better use of my time. So see you in a bit. Well, I ended up going through that whole pile of 1.5 by 8s that Eric and I sawed. They weren't all created equal. It dried at different rates, but the 2 tall stacks are 7 5/8, plus or minus less than a 1/16. And then this pile out here is 7.5. And then the tall pile over there is more than 5/8, more plus 3/4, I guess. So, but the good news is I have plenty to do 2 bents with the 5/8 pile, and then I've kind of also crowned those, so it should be faster when I put them up. So anyway, getting to it. Let's put up some floor joists. First set of floor joists is in. The off of self-milled lumber. A lot of people might ask whether I needed to have that lumber graded in order to use it in the structure, and I don't have any structural inspections in this county, in this part of Idaho, so no, I can use whatever I want. So 12 floor joists at the end here. Was a little short, so I just split the gap at the last two, and these gaps in the ends where that bracket is, we're just going to put the blocking between those two joists, and that will have to support a wall that basically doesn't hold any roof structure or anything like that, but it will have a window in it. So we'll put some blocking, maybe even use some joist hangers in there, not sure. So, but looks pretty good. On the outside I used the full thickness 2x8, and then put the structural screws in there as a structural component. So I don't know, well, I think it looks pretty good. Learned a lot on this one. This is not a fast process. I'm cutting them to length while I'm up there, and then just working by myself. The lift is really handy, but you know, it's a process. So one down, start on the next one. I got the first 6 in on the second set. Got 6 more on the deck, and that should get me to the end. 6. So going good. Definitely a lot faster the second time. Only problem is it's hot. It's like 10:30, quarter 11, and the sun is out. It's supposed to be scratching 100 degrees today, so I'm going to try to get this bent, or this section all done, and maybe prep a little bit for the next one and try to do a third one this evening. So getting after it. All right, my sequence of events of how I been hanging them, and probably by the time this video is done I'll have the majority of them in. So you'll probably give me lots of tips that save time, but not much I can do about that today. So I mark it to 16 inches, and I make sure I measure off the far mark, just so those don't get off as you keep going. And and then I make a width measurement and cut my board to length up here, because they've been varying slightly, 16th, quarter, not a quarter, eighth I would say, and I'm just trying to make them to fit. So that's my first step. So the next thing I do is then get a measurement with that square, and then I transfer that, hold it up to the bottom and up to that line, and then as I'm doing that, try to hold it with one hand. And real important to have your power tool, your nail gun oriented the right way, because that seems like the hardest thing, is to keep that in place while you get the nail gun to its hole. Then pop, pop. Step 2. Step 3, if you've done all your measurements right and everything looks good, snug it up. I got less than a 16th there. I think I'm going to call that good. And then I've been putting some 3-inch screws in. Hopefully this will make things less creaky and squeaky. Well, pretty much the finished product. All I have to do is put the end boards in, but seems nice and level. Should support bedroom, closets start right in here someplace, and toilet not far in. And then this will all be garage down below. So kind of cool to be thinking about that as you're up here working. It's 12 o'clock, it's hot. I'm gonna finish these 2 pieces, maybe do a little prep work for this evening, go inside. Well, Eric was just by, and he's questioning whether we need to have a double on that left floor joist. We're gonna put blocking between the 2, and it's going to hold a wall that has a window in it, but that's it. No structural load down to it. So it'll be interesting to see what people think. I already did it, so let me know. The next one I'm going to work on is this one here, and I'm going to put 2x10s in this bay. And that's mainly because there's going to be a bathtub on this east wall, and I want there to be the extra weight capacity for that bathtub. So went to Home Depot, got some 2x10s. Get after it. Well, I got through 5 of those. Number 6 disappeared because my plan of staging them over on this didn't quite work, and so it's laying on the ground. I don't think it damaged it, but still kind of stinks. I think I'm going to call it quits when my drill driver starts putting out light. Your time is limited, so it's starting to cool off, just a tiny bit of breeze, which is nice. Hot couple of days out here, but I got 2.5 in, I would say, out of, let's see, 7. So got some work left to do. This is taking me longer than I thought, and then I am curious about that double joist there, whether that's a thing I need to do, and then I guess put blocking in this at some point too. But right now I'm just shearing up the structure and making it tight, doing what I can. So Eric and I are working out here this weekend, so that'll be nice. We'll get a lot more done. Appreciate everyone watching and following our channel. It's fun to see all the comments and everyone watching the channel throughout the country and the world for that matter. So we'll catch you with the next video. Eric and I are going to work together, so we're hoping to get quite a bit done. I think we're even going to clean that mill off, so at least that can be functional again, and start milling some lumber just to finish up all the timbers that are needed to make the side wings here. So you guys have a good night, day, wherever you're watching.